all for coming today. Today I want to talk about how sitting is killing you. It's the truth about sitting down. Actually, recently I was given this Fitbit, which is really awesome. It's this little device you wear on your wrist that keeps track of how many steps you take every day. And I was like, I think I lead a pretty active lifestyle, so I was so excited to see how many steps I actually do. And unfortunately, it took me over a week to actually get to the minimum recommended 10,000 steps. And that was after an active day and 40 minutes on the treadmill. So it led me to consider whether I really have an active lifestyle or I have a more sedentary one, which made me wonder what kind of consequences I'd be facing in the future with a sedentary lifestyle. So our society is predominantly sedentary right now, and it has the consequences of lots of health risks and death. And so we need to look at how we can reduce or eliminate the devastating effects of a sedentary lifestyle. Our generation is particularly vulnerable because of all the new technology and stuff we have. We can be very productive without being very active. We have cars and phones and internet, and in the past generations, people had to be active in order to survive. And now we can accomplish so much while still sitting down. So even though we have modern conveniences that make our life easier, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a widespread problem. So how prevalent is sitting down? Dr. James Levine of the Mayo Clinic labeled sitting as the new disease of our time. In fact, he claims that electronic living has all but sapped every flicker of activity from our daily lives. The World Health Organization estimates that 60 to 85% of people worldwide don't get enough activity. So what kind of risk does this entail? It's expensive, it's unhealthy, and it's even deadly. $24 billion in direct medical expenses can be attributed to a sedentary lifestyle. Dr. Mark Hamilton says that the rates of high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity is double and even tripled in people who sit down too much. So, sedentary lifestyle is also responsible for 6% of heart disease, 7% of type 2 diabetes, 10% of both breast cancer and colon cancer. And most of these can be managed with medication or surgery, so is it really such a big deal? Well, it's also deadly. 1 in 10 deaths every year can be attributed to a sedentary lifestyle. That equals 5.3 million deaths a year, which is more than the number of people that die from cancer, from smoking. So why is sitting down so bad? Again, Dr. Mark Hamilton explains that sitting for extended periods of time causes your body to shut down at a metabolic level. So the less you move, the less blood sugar your body uses. It increases your risk of heart disease because enzymes in the blood that help regulate the amount of fat in your blood become inactive. So your overall risk of metabolic syndrome, which includes high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high blood sugar, goes up 26% for every hour you spend watching TV. That can add up quickly. So the longer you sit, the more chance you'll die early, regardless of how fit you are. Most people think if they exercise a half an hour a day, that's going to help minimize the effects. But research now shows that we've become such a sedentary society that even exercise, 150 minutes a week of exercise, isn't enough to eliminate the bad effects of sitting down. So this is obviously a very real challenge that this generation is going to have to face. So what can we do? Dr. Neville Owen recommends that you avoid long periods of sitting. In fact, he recommends that you stand up every half hour. And if you have to sit longer than a half an hour, that you walk around before sitting down again. So he says, if you're going to watch TV, that you pace or stretch or clean up the room instead of just sitting on the couch. If you answer a phone call, instead of sitting down to talk, you can stand up or walk around. Or, so if anytime you have a choice to sit or stand to do a task, they recommend choosing stand. So the solution to sitting disease is less time sitting down and more time doing other things. Or they recommend increasing your NEAT activities, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So you can park at the back of the parking lot and get those extra steps as you go into the store, take short walk breaks at work, doing laundry counts, tapping your toes, or just standing up. Standing up actually burns 3 times the number of calories sitting down does. So it keeps your metabolism going and your circulation flowing, which helps counter these negative effects of sitting disease. Health professionals agree that the 10,000 steps is the ideal goal for improving your health and reducing the risks of inactivity. So although sitting disease is a real and harmful reality to our generation, there are choices we can make every day that help eliminate and reduce these negative side effects. Thank you.